Hello, this is Simone, and today I wanted to share with you all the things that I recently received in the mail and just tell you a bit about the things and what I like about them and what I don't like. I'm just in a chatty mood and there's nobody else here stationery wise that I could talk to, and so I thought, well, why not talk to YouTube? So the thing that came yesterday, I think. Let me just start with this. I received a gift card from a friend for jet pens, and even though I told her it wasn't necessary, I went right ahead and spent it all. And this is what I got. I had heard people recommend the MD notebooks, and since I wasn't so sure if A6 was the right size for my journal after all, I went ahead and purchased the MD notebook in A5. It is not the MD diary because that was sold out, and I don't really need another calendar in the front. I just want it to be a journal, and the paper weight is quite thick. It looks really amazing. This is I'm a stationery addict, and this is just so pretty. If you've heard me recently talk about the Clairefontaine and Rhodia bullet journal that I'm using, or journal that I'm using for my lists and notes, I love the paper, but this has just some kind of flair to this. I haven't tried the paper yet, but this is just so pretty. There is this glycine, or what is it? No, it's not vellum cover on this, and then there is this blue cover. There is this embossed MD paper in here. It says made in Japan underneath. I also really like that it is a bound book which lies flat. And then there is this sticker that you could put on the front. And I think they had somewhere here, it showed, a label sticker can be placed on the end paper as a record for the notebook you have finished. And I really like that idea. There is also a bookmark included. I can't, right here. And the grid looks like it's 0.5 millimeters. Does it say somewhere on here? Nope. And it is blue. I don't know if you can see that. Let me pull it up close. And the squares aren't closed. And I'm just going to go ahead and just try writing on this just to see what it feels like. Let me just do it on this last page right here. And I'm going to use I just used lotion on my hands, so I'm using this so as to not get all grease onto the paper. This is a TWSBI. It doesn't glide as smoothly over the paper as it does with the Hobonichi paper. That is what I love about, or Hobonichi Tomoe River paper. This is the and then let me just try my Muji pen as well. Yeah, Muji pen in 0.5 black. No bleed through or ghosting whatsoever. It also dries really nicely. However, well, this is the last page, and so the sound isn't as smooth and nice as it would be on a paper when there's more paper underneath. I like it, but I'm not going to switch anyway. So I'm just going to put this into my stash and we'll pull it out once I feel like I need a change or once this one is filled up. But I'm glad I got it and I was able to test the paper and have a look at it and feel it. I also got the MD notebook cover. This is, let me just open it up and you can see it. Yeah, it is a plastic cover that you can just put onto the paper, onto the notebook and cover the notebook with it. Similar to these cover-on-covers for the Hobonichi. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if and that's the chatty part now, I wasn't so sure if this was the right size for me because I really like decorating and I felt like I wouldn't have enough room to journal on it. But then when I filmed my January update video, while I was talking about it, I realized that it doesn't even matter if I'm just filling up a page completely. Then I just won't journal on that page. And that's completely fine. And I really like that I had that insight. And sometimes I'm personally very, very, I don't see right or left. I just see black and white and I don't see the nuances in between. So for me, I was like, I cannot use this journal. It's way too small because I cannot decorate and write at the same time. But to see that I could just cover the whole page or 2 pages and then journal on the next page and just fill it however I want to fill it. That is something that I sometimes takes a long time for me to realize. So I was really glad I had that idea pop into my head. And so I'm definitely going to continue working in this one. And as I said, I'll just put this into my stash. And once this is done I'm not sure if when I'm filling it up like this, and you can see, I think I'm on my second signature here, and there are about 20 signatures in here, then this will be bulky, very bulky, and I might not even be able to finish it all. But I will definitely use it as long as it is usable, and then we'll continue and see how it works. I will definitely keep you updated on that, and I wanted to glue this flower in here just like this and be done with it. So that is the MD notebook, and I'll just put it away, and once I'm done with the A6, I might probably switch into this. And then comes the openness to be okay with different size journals. I'm really very, OCD is not the right word. As I said, narrow-minded, very fixated on one thing, and I'm not really able to spread my wings and be flexible like that. So that is something I really need to work on. And then I just got 2 refills for my high-tech C Coletto. I have this, it's not here. Here's my pen case. And if you want to see an update on what's in my pen case, I don't even know if I ever filmed one like that, let me know. This definitely needs to be sorted out. There's way too much inside. I have this one. I got it as a birthday present, I think 2 years ago. And I have, it's a one with 4 different colors. In one I have the pencil, the mechanical pencil refill, and then I have a red, a green, and a light blue. And I just like to swap out for different colors, and I think I never had this purple one, and so I got that. And for some reason, I always thought I was a fine nib writer, but I write better on those with the 0.5 refill, and that's what I got for this one. And then I also got black felt tip pens. because I really like, on Instagram, her name is Carla Creates Life, I think. I will link her Instagram in the description box below. She uses broader nib felt tip pens in her journal, and I really, really like it. I want to try this. And so I know this is a German brand, and since I'm from Germany, I know this, but I only had the gray, and it's already been used for a long time. I think I purchased those before I moved here 3.5 years ago, or even earlier than that. And the tip is already used and very soft. And this tip is harder because it hasn't been used as much. And since I'm very heavy-handed, I thought I would try these Pentel Sign pens. I know there is a brush pen, but this isn't a brush pen. And I swatched it out in this, also new, Hobonichi Weeks. And so you can see just the difference. I think this is a bit finer. You can't really see the difference. And I think it's a little bit more black. This is the black one, the gray one, and the black Stabilo pen. None of them bleed through. And I don't really know what I'm going to use them for, but I definitely plan on using them for something. Let me just swatch this one out as well so we can see what the, it's much fatter because it's much older. And I hope that this broadening of the tip with having a heavy hand doesn't happen to those as quickly as it happens to those. I unfortunately don't know the price difference. I will link to them in the description box below as well, and you can check them out if you're interested. But this video is not about making you buy stuff. I just wanted to share, really. Yeah. So I want to use those to write bigger, broader wording. I'm using my passport size traveler's notebook as a logbook, and I thought that maybe I could use the black for those fatter words, and maybe next week I will try with this pen and see how it works in combination with the Muji pen. And then let's just stay here. I wasn't able to resist the Hobonichi Weeks trend, and so I purchased this one on a Facebook buy-sell trade group. It's the denim. It's not a mega weeks, it's just a regular weeks. And the seller also included a cover on cover, so I put that on. And what I really like about the Hobonichi Weeks is the Tomoe River paper. I love, love, love the sound of the paper. Can you hear this? When it's used, it's like crinkly. Yeah, it's super crinkly, and the sound of the paper is just so, I love how thin it is, and I love the sound of the paper. That is what makes me want to switch to this. Also, another thing that makes me want to switch is that I have the days of the week over here where I can log my days. And then I have this place where I can add ephemera, like this is the samples of the Coco Daisy March or fresh cut washi tapes. And then I had this little space to journal. I know I have a different journal, but I really like adding this ephemera right here and putting that here. I wouldn't have a place for that in here, and that is why I'm really thinking of switching. So these are the two comparisons. I actually filmed a journal with me video for this, and yeah, we'll go definitely deeper into the struggle that I'm having with this. But if you have any ideas what I could use this for, I would love to know, because I don't really want to double up. I mean, I love doing this and it's so doable, and I, again, love, love, love this for no other reason, just because it's fun. But then I'm missing this bit over here, or here I made a practice one which I didn't have the right measurement, so I had to cut off a lot over here. This space over here I'm missing in here, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I could like do a week and then add stuff over here and just add until it's full and then do another week. That would be something that I could do as well. I don't know. This is just so cute, but this is cute too. Everyone is using this. If I'm going with the Instagram likes, then this spread over here got like 150 likes in the first day. None of the spreads in this ever got that far. I guess this is because the hashtag Hobonichi Weeks made it this way, but obviously people love this right now, and so why shouldn't I use one too, right? Do you have any ideas what I could use this? I'm not going to use this as a planner. I'm really very content with my Jibun Techo in A5 Slim. I'm thinking about maybe downsizing to a smaller size in 2019. This, since it's only February, I can think about this later on in the year. Right now, I feel like this looks good. I love the vertical layout of the weeks. This wouldn't work because I really love the time blocks that I can add here, but then it's not it's a functional planner mostly. Yes, it is. I just add decoration because I have some and I love adding a little bit of decoration, but I don't really need that much space. That's about all I'm adding in, and so maybe I could switch to a smaller one. Again, I will be thinking about this once I need to make a decision for next year. That's way down the road. So that's my new thing, the Hobonichi Weeks. Let me just one more time. I love the sound. Yeah. And I was so surprised. I have to tell you that I was so surprised that it was this slim and this tiny. I didn't have a thing in my head about how big it would be. I knew it wasn't as big as a standard size traveler's notebook. And since I took a picture yesterday and put it on Instagram stories, I still have this laying around, so I can show you. This is a standard size traveler's notebook insert. This is a personal size traveler's notebook insert. And yeah, so it's a little bit bigger, same width as the personal size. It's a little bit taller, but not as tall as a standard. And it definitely isn't as fat as this. Yeah, so I can totally see how lots of people are attracted to this. This is such a handy planner. You can just put it in your bag. It doesn't take up a lot of room. And so, yeah, super in love. And that's why I'm also falling out of love for this, because my pen doesn't really glide well on this paper, and I don't know really what the problem is. I started noticing it here when I stamped in the background. I thought it might be that, but then when I wrote here, I had the same problem, and here, this was because of I think this is so thick and fat because of the strange stopping, and I just replaced the refill for this, and so it shouldn't, right? Oh well, let's see how this all works out. I don't really have to make a decision right now. I have enough time to fill them both for a while. I just don't want to double up on the same stuff. It doesn't really make sense to me. What else did I want to talk about? Yes, the Muji pens. I really don't like throwing away a pen once it's done. I would rather use a refill. And I know that this is more waste than having a fountain pen as well. I really like writing with those. It's different for some reason than using fountain pens. Maybe I can make the switch to a fountain pen further down the road, but right now I still really enjoy the Muji. Again, 0.5, what is it? Gel pen. And I was looking, I actually have a Muji store pretty close to me, but I never go down that direction, and it's right downtown in San Jose, and parking is hard. So I was looking online how expensive the pens would be for this, and it was like, okay, that's a lot. Maybe I should just go and do that one morning when I'm off work. But then I found these on Amazon, and these are the refills for this, which is, to me, it is even better than buying a new pen. I don't need a new pen for this. I only need a refill, and this works really, it works. I saw on the comments on Amazon that they had to cut off part of this. I don't know what pens they were using, but in my pen, it actually works really well. So this is one of those, and it is actually, it came in a pack of 6, so this is one of those, and it's exactly the same size, and they work in this perfectly. So that is something that I really like, and I wanted to share. And I actually wasn't too concerned about the price either. It wasn't more expensive than a whole new set of pens. And since I didn't want a whole new set of pens, I was fine paying almost the same, because, yeah, let's save the planet with tiny, tiny steps. Please don't judge me for being so, what is it, idealistic, but I just really like to think that every teeny tiny bit of saving waste helps. So that's something that I'm really, really loving. What else? What else? This one I already showed you. I went ahead and got bottles of ink. I was looking for waterproof ink because I don't know why this always happens to me, but very often, I seem to touch my journaling pages with wet hands, and then everything, because I'm writing with a fountain pen in my journal, and even those are water soluble, so if this gets wet, it also smudges all over. And so I wanted to get waterproof ink for that reason. And I had tested the Lexington gray ink last summer, but I didn't really like the gray because it had a very reddish undertone, and I like blue grays more than those reddish grays that go more towards the reddish color scheme. There's also gray that goes more towards the blue, but this one was more towards the blue. But then this was going to be released, and so I hadn't tested any other grays, and so I just went ahead and purchased this because the Noodler's ink is quite affordable, and I thought having a gray waterproof ink is better than not having a gray waterproof ink. And interestingly enough, I have journaled with this pen for several days. Yes, it has kind of a reddish cast to it, but it's not as bad as I had it in my memory. So that's that. And I also got this new fountain pen. But let me back up. And then I also got Noodler's Black. Again, I wasn't sure if I wanted this because I also had a sample, and compared to other black inks, it wasn't as black as the others. But again, I tried it again here. I think I wrote with it. And this is the Echo in black, and I really like it. So I wasn't too sure about getting those inks. Then I went ahead and I'm positively surprised. This is something that not very often happens to me. Often when I want something for a very long time, like I wanted the Hobonichi TWSBI in a size, A6, to journal in it every day, the pressure, the build-up, the expectations that I have of that said product are so high that most of the time the product cannot fulfill my expectations and I'm disappointed, which is really bad. So yeah, so I'm actually positively surprised by both of those inks. And if you want to go ahead and want recommendations for waterproof inks, both of them do not smudge once the ink is dry. This is, what is this paper? Tomoe River paper, and I'll just wet my finger with my tongue and just go over this, and you can see, well, it did a little, but I tried it before over here somewhere and it doesn't really smudge at all. So this is great. Wet hands, I can touch this now and it's not working, not smudging. And then I pulled those out because those are the other two TWSBI fountain pens that I have. I wanted a TWSBI, is it called Diamond 580 or only 580? I'm not so sure. Oh, it says on here, Diamond 580. I guess because of the barrel shape. It's called Diamond 580 for a long time. And I was waiting for a color that I liked. And I really, really like these greens and blue tones. And so when they announced the new release, I knew I was going to get one. I purchased this from Goulet Pens in a fine nib. And I was really surprised to see that the nib is actually really different than the Echo nib. So it is a lot wider here. Looks more like an ancient like fountain pens, like how you imagine them to be when they are like ancient or stuff like ancient. You know what I mean. From the 1950s or so. My granddad had fountain pens and his looked like this. What I wanted, they are really different in the weight. What I didn't realize about the Echo T is that I thought the only difference between the T and the normal Echo was the triangular shape in the back, but it also has this triangular shape here in the barrel. Let me see if I can show this. I don't know if you can see it. It helps you rest your fingers right here and you don't slip. And since it's so lightweight, that's probably wouldn't even make a difference if it was or wasn't. Is it? No, it also has a grip, kind of a grip here, but I just inserted this wrong, I guess. Yeah, it does. It has kind of a grip zone here, so you know where to grip your pen. The Diamond 580 doesn't have this. It's very circular and round, and since it's a lot heavier, I feel like it is harder to hold it in your hands. It is aluminum here and slippery. And that is one of those things that I was talking about. I was really looking forward to receiving this pen, and when I had it in my hands and tried to write with it for the very first time, I was like, this isn't as nice and as smooth, and as the writing experience isn't as great as I had expected it to be. And I'll see if this changes, but right now this is, even though I was really looking forward to purchasing this one, I prefer this one to this one. But since it's new and I'm trying to get used to this, to the feeling of writing with this, I'm writing with this one, but that is my favorite fountain pen at the moment. Strange, right? So I think this is about the fountain pens. Did I show you a sample of the writing? I also think that the nibs, even though both are fine nibs, are a bit different. Maybe it's also because of the ink, because ink flows differently. And even though they are the same manufacturer, they are different pens, and so maybe that's why they are different. But let me just TWSBI. And can you hear how this writes very smoothly and not as scratchy as with the MD paper? TWSBI Diamond. It's a fine nib with noodlers. And this one is the TWSBI Echo T green, fine nib, noodlers black. And I guess to really compare those to each other and the nib size, you would need to fill either this one with gray or this one with a black. But I just wanted to show you just by making a line that I think they are different nib sizes. This one is more closer to a medium for me, in my opinion, than fine. But maybe that is also because, as you were able to see, both of those nibs, they are different. Here, again. Okay, I guess that's all I want. No, I have one more thing that I wanted to share. It's like kind of a playful thing. When I decided to get rid of the A6 Hobonichi Techo with a daily page per day, I decided that I could just stamp the dates instead of write the dates or have them printed into my planner. And so I decided to go ahead and get one of those date stamps. And it's self-inking, and it's so convenient, and it's so much fun. It's just so much fun to stamp the date. This is cool too. Okay, I'll have to show you one more thing once I'm done with this. So let me just stamp. Today is February 6th. And then you just turn it on, and then you just have to make sure that it's the right side and the print is looking at you and the month is on the left. Then that's the right size. Oops, now I didn't stamp well enough. Let me just re-stamp it. It's February 6th, 2019. And the ink, you can't really see right now. It feels like it sometimes bleeds through depending on the saturation of the ink. Here, it's definitely ghosting, but really, I don't care. Once the pages are written on like that, you won't be able to notice if it bled through or not. So that's my favorite toy at the moment. I just purchased one from Amazon. There are so many different kinds, and some of them are narrower and skinnier. Some of them are bigger. I also received a giveaway from not Coco Daisy, Studio Calico in January, and they included the mega date stamp. And let me grab that for you and show you. This is the biggest date stamp I have ever seen, and I would have never purchased that, but I am not saying no to it being gifted to me. And let me show you what it looks like when I stamp it out like this. Isn't this cool? It's almost as wide as an A6 page. and I can't wait to use it again. I just don't want to get rid of this, and so I just stamped with this, but I will definitely use this again because this is so much fun. Yeah, I think that's all I have to share, and I wanted to talk about to someone. It would have been cool if you could answer me right away or chip in with your opinion and your ideas. That would have been really cool. I will keep you updated on my decision on this. Watch out for a journal with me video on those. And yeah, I will see you soon. Until then, be creative. Bye.